Attention, attention, attention. This is the Townnet A of the day. I am your net controller. Team number 9, Yankee uniform, echo, echo, echo. If you're around and would like to check in, please come in with your call sign phonetically. Remember that our net is being recorded for training purposes. You may begin.
Tin Yacht number 2, Golf Alpha Papa.
Tin Yacht number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Ticket number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha.
Okay, keep it coming, keep it coming. Check in, check in, check in.
Juliet number 2, Kilo Alpha India.
Yacht number 2, Golf Echo India.
Tin Yacht number 2, Delta November Golf.
Gay, can you check your audio input again? See if it's good.
Yacht number 2, Golf Echo India. Hopefully that's better now.
So much better. It's much louder, louder. Okay, wow, we got a strong start today. 6 people. Anyone else want to check in? One more call. One more call. Okay, let's begin. Wow, so many people. Okay, today we're going to start a new, not a new, but a very interesting topic. Continuing on with the 9 star. Last wait, no, yesterday, Net B, I was teaching Lay this lesson at the end of the net because no one was there. Only me and Lay was around. But anyway, so let's get into the 9 star again. First of all, we start with the star one. Star one, it's white, neutral white in color. The power of that is neutral white. If you look up the sky and you look at the sun, that's like it. About it, right? White, it doesn't move, it stays there, it doesn't move. It just stay in one spot and then it just radiate the light everywhere. That's the D1 light. And D1 is always uh, describing like it already has everything. It's giving off. It's ready to give. So let's say if I am the company and we finished created a new smartphone. Okay, so we are D1. We have a completion. We're done. So we have to create the D2, right? So what do? We have a phone, yeah, so we need people to buy it. So we need to create that D2, which is the power that makes people want to buy, right? So the buyer, the demand becomes the D2. So we have to find a D2 to grab, or uh, we have to make people want to grab our stuff. So the D2 is born from the D1. D2, it's black, and the power looks like cloud and smog. It looks like flowing cloud and smoke at the same time. And this dark force power is basically there to open a portal to suck in the light from the D1. So it's like a vacuum. It sucks. And remember that D1 gave birth to D2. Like, hey, this company had a finished product. So that's why I have the want and desire for it, right? If there was never such a product, I wouldn't be any like attracted to this company. So you see, the D1 give birth to D2. Okay, let's move around. And senior number 2, Golf Alpha Papa.
Yacht number 2, Golf Alpha Papa. So that's pretty interesting because that implies that like anything could become a D1 source, right? Like the D1 and the D2 could potentially the those representing that could totally like kind of switch places in a way, right? Well, I remember listening to the call to the talk last yesterday when you were saying that the Yunsun and our local body, right? Like the Yunsun is typically recognized as the D1, but and but when we go to sleep, it becomes a D2 element in that it sucks us up into it. And then when we wake up, that's our local body becoming the D2 and pulling from the D1. So I'm just contemplating this as in like other areas of life, well, just how you described a finished product, right? So like the the D1, it could be thought of like that. That's like some like let's say like a person who's been working on building a skill, and they build their skills to a point where they're like ready to do something with it, and then that readiness kind of gives birth to the idea that they can put out there and offer that to share with that. That's sort of like how you are D1 to us. Uh, right, like you put out these videos, you let the world know that you are capable of delivering authentic Taoist teachings, and that gave birth to D2 in us. So now we come to pull knowledge from you, um and then I guess how that would like kind of flip around is like a disciple becoming uh a disciple like learning enough to be able to get to the next level may incur a desire in you to see them go like do better, and therefore another phase of teaching kicks in, I guess. um yeah, I'm still wrapping my head around it, but yeah, like I'm contemplating how this is also, all the various ways it can be used, like in other world examples. Then yeah, number 2, Golf Alpha Papa.
The last example about the disciple, not really. Okay, but we'll get to that. Um, yeah, you can apply the same theory to many things in life, not just magic and stuff. Uh, D1 shines. And so imagine we are all shining, we are all D1s, and there's like a bunch of people there acting as D2. How does the D2 choose which one to pick? Right? You heard of, we say, oh, you like someone outshine you, right? Like they shine brighter than you. Then they will be picked because the people picking is like the one that pulls them over, right? So it's like in a business pitching kind of situation. There are like, for example, 8 people trying to promote their ideas to a bunch of people who will be like investing in their ideas, right? Those guys will be the one in like D2 position trying to see which one to grab from. And these people who are pitching their like the D1, they're showing off their light, what they have, and then let the D2 choose which one. So apparently the one with the best light, the most light, the brightest one will be sucked over, and you can kind of tell which one is better. Um, so sometimes we say, "Oh, I want to be more attractive." Attractive. It's like, yeah, you're pulling in things, or are you giving off and exposing yourself so that you could be pulled? Like, which party are you actually supposed to be? That is something you have to think of. Like, are you being the D1 side or the D2 side? That really depends on the situation. For example, if I'm like a restaurant, a food shop, like I sell food, right? And I work in a food court. Okay, so there are other shops around me, and I want to usher people to come over to me to give me their money, right? So they have to pay me. So in this case, I would use a dark force. It pulls in the people, right? It pulls them over, because I am like not moving. I'm here. Um, I am offering things. So hey, there's no people coming over to my shop. What do I do? Okay, so I want to be the D2. D2 has to do what D2 have to do. If you don't move and stay in one spot, you're not going to get anything to come to you, right? D2 pulls the D1 over. So you see those people who like got a job and they're like a salesman, they walk around and they make noises, make wind, and they pull people into them, right? It's like a ghost, just suck them in and then start selling your things. So as a D2, you got to be the active side. You can't just stand there and expect people to like come and pay you, right? So imagine you're like doing a booth and trying to get sales. If you sit there and wait, no one's going to come, right? You want to be the D2, you have to move. Stir up movement. Tina number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Tenured number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf. Good day, Sergeant Kijan. Good day to my seniors and my juniors on the net today. Hope everybody's having a really good day. And I really enjoy how the 9-star theory, Sergeant, have these it has this archetypes within the system itself that could be applied within different areas of your life, and it's always reoccurring, the same system from D1 to D9, or goes back to D1. Like when you were speaking about the example of the phone, being the company being D1 who creates a phone, and then D2 is D1, or the people, or the market, I should say, that want to absorb and maybe interested in the phone. It made me think of like a farmer who's planting seeds. He would be the D1 and the soil be D2, but the farmer will also need to have the wisdom to see which field it looks more promising, where he should be planting the soil, planting the seed itself. Because sometimes you will plant seeds in a soil that is not going to be very fruitful. So as you were given that example, that kind of came to mind. And the flexibility of the 9-star theory is really amazing to me because, like I said, you could apply it in different areas of your life. You just have to have the experience. And I think the more experience I have with interchanging the 9-star theory in different areas of my life is a fuller understanding I'm getting. And Gap also gave a really interesting example as well. I think the more examples I hear from a lot of my other seniors and juniors, it gives me a more information to add to my knowledge. So it's really helping as well But the example of how you said the D2 is usually the active one, because the D2 is usually seeking to intake. The black is always looking to suck stuff in like a black hole. And the D1 is always stable or still, and because you have to look for something that's pulling you in. Back to you, Tinyet number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Yes, important point here is D1, it stays in one spot and shines 360. The D2, it moves around in circles around the light. Okay, so it moves like it's kind of like a swirl, it moves in a swirl and sucks in the light. So um I can be a D2 or D1 when I promote. If I want to, okay, first of all, you need to make up the mindset, right? Like choose. If I am the D1, okay, so I'm like in my own position, which means like I'm on my own YouTube channel, my own TikTok channel, and I just upload stuff. I'm showing off, okay? Showing off, exposing myself so that people can see what I got. And then I just try my best to do that. That will result in um like when people see it, right? If they are interested, they will be the D2 and they will see and then they will want to pull it over. So they want my stuff. They will want to like, you know, contact or, bring it over to them, right? So that can be done. But if I change it to the other way, if I want to be the D2 and I want to suck people in, then I have to change the way I promote. So how do I go around? Well, I can be like myself, or I can hire people or ask people to, and we can like go around to other places that is not ours, like go to the forum and stir up some attention, right? Oh, go here and then like throw out some words, go there, throw out some words, and then stir up a fight here and there, get attention, right? And you make noises around the world to make people aware of you, right? Now you're the D2. You're pulling them toward you. So I am sucking their attention over. Okay. So I'm like changing the way I promote. Both can work, but it really depends on what I really want. If I am the D1, right, then it's like it's good if I want client, because the client, right, like they pay me, the payment would be the D3. I want something from them. But if I'm being the D1 and they're the D2, they suck me. That means like they want to come and get ordained because they really want my stuff, right? So they're here to want my stuff. Hey, that's like, ordained. So I can choose which method I should use for promotion for the best result that I want. And both can work. It depends on what I am looking for. And obviously, right now, I'm being a D1 because I don't go around outside. So I'm being D1 and I'm attracting people over so that they will want to come and grab my stuff, which is learning. T number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. Team at number 4, Alpha.
Ting at number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. I understand it a little bit about what's happening, and I'm wondering. There was an example that was provided before based on that package that Le Shadi had on his porch, and it was camouflaging and concealing with the D2. And I was also thinking of an example, and I thought, okay, if I were to apply the 9-star to perhaps a bus, a transportation, or some kind of vehicle. So if I'm thinking of this correctly, if it would be the D1 is the vehicle, the transportation of the vehicle, whatever it is, a bus, a car, a boat, and the D2 would be the people getting onto the boat. In the process of doing that, is the D3, if I understand that correctly. How does how does camouflaging and blocking work in D2 rather than absorbing, or does that matter? Team at number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha.
You're off track. Okay, D2 is always the ground. So if you talk about you and the bus, you go into the bus. How can the bus be the D1? Right? Like you go into the bus. The bus is the ground, it's the D2. You go into the bus, right? So you are the D1, the bus is the D2. While you're traveling and got on the bus, that's D3. Okay, so you don't get the concept yet. I can tell you're like kind of messed up today, huh? Not clear minded, I can tell. Kind of weird, actually, because I was talking about the other examples, and you sound like you're just lost. Okay, so I'm not sure if you didn't hear my examples or you heard it, but you're lost. But anyway, you're not on the right track. Yeah. About the cloaking and camouflaging, well, D2 power swallows the light, right? It swallows it, the light. So anything itself shines because there's light. So if I put the D2 over something like the package, it swallows up that light. And so when the outside look at it, it doesn't look so bright and you don't actually pay attention to it because there's not much light. The more light you have, the more you attract attention because the D2 outside gets stronger because you're brighter. So if I dim down the light, then you think that, oh, it just blends in with other things. So that's how it is. Okay, senior number 2, Kilo Alpha India.
Unit number 2, Kilo Alpha India. I need to be honest. I'm also like have such a I'm experiencing something else at this moment. While I'm listening, I'm just dealing with something powerful at the moment. It's the payday, so I got paid, and I realized that something unexpected happened. So I think I'm only got paid 1 week. I don't know what happened. So I was chatting with another guy there at work. He said, no, if you didn't work for like almost a month, then what's gonna happen is you don't get paid. So I believe I did only get paid those days that I just worked before they stopped me from coming to work. So I just saw my money. So it's difficult to kind of focus on the lesson. So um but I think I did hear you talking about D1 and D2, and D1 being the source of every dimension. And everybody else, like if they want to like benefit from 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 you, I just didn't catch whether they what is happening when they want to benefit from you. I was listening, just carried out by something else. Just carry on and listen. So, unit number 2, Kilo Alpha India, back to you.
It is okay. These 9 star is kind of like deeper knowledge. So when it's not time to absorb, you will be like that. It's okay. Just listen on and follow along. Eventually, you listen to it so many times, it will soak into you. Um, well, again, why are we so into the 9 star? Well, because um, in nature, right, the most original or the most like the first state of how nature is like the DNA of nature, right? It's all about the 9 types of this chi, and the 9 types of chi mixes and interacts and interweb, and it becomes a very complex thing, and it gives birth to everything else. So if you can use the magic to manipulate the 9 type of chi, you can use it like 9 types of different powers to make things happen this way or that way. Okay, just like I said, well, you understand the D2, it can be used for like covering up something to not let people like not see it, right? Not pay attention to it. Yeah, that's one way you can use it, but there's so many other ways, right? So once you understand the property of that star, that dragon chi, you can use it, and it's not just like about a metaphor or like these cases. It's also about their properties, like how are they actually like. Okay, so remember that D1 is the source and D2 pulls the D1 over, right? And when the D1 stuff travels, it becomes the D3. D3 is like something from the D1 party coming over. And when that D3 is complete, like the star is completed, then that's the time when the stuff from D1 entered the D2. So if you talk about like Amazon shipping you a package, Amazon become the D1, it's a giver. You are the D2 in the house, and the D3 would be the package going to like it went to your doorstep and it entered the house. That is the goal of the D3. Okay. It's kind of like your boss paid you, and first it comes in the form of a check, and D3 complete when you deposit the check into the account. Tina number 2, Golf Echo India.
Team yacht number 2, Golf Echo India. Yeah, it's like the more the more we learn about the different aspects and qualities of the 9 star, um, the more complicated it gets. It can be very simple, um, but like the better and the deeper you start to understand it, uh, the more applications you start to understand. And I can see how it can get a little confusing. Um, I'm really enjoying the immediate metaphor of, or example rather, um, of using the D1 and D2 properties in business. So like, I remember when I was working at Starbucks, business would get a little slow and they'd send me out around with a sample tray. Just a very D2 way of attracting attention, attracting business. Um, and I guess it makes sense for me building my website to be working on creating online presence, being very D1 about it, to um, uh, well, this word is a little loaded right now, but to attract people who want my services. I want people who are in a D2 state. They want the services that I offer, to build up those client relationships, because I think I can expect a lot of repeat business. The more people I have that I can rely on, the more stable my income becomes. So yeah, this is all really interesting for me to be contemplating that way. Team out number 2, Gulf Echo India.
Your mic, I think, went back to the bad one. Yeah, your audio is kind of, I don't know, maybe you walked around, went to somewhere and then disconnected with the Bluetooth. I'm not sure why, but your audio went back to the quieter one. Anyway, the D3, like beside the D1, D2, you need to look at the D3. D3 powers is like in the form of light, a flowing light, but it's not like a line. It's like a slice, like a big cloth in the air, and it blows like the wind. It's like a slice of sushi, slice of paper, right? It's like that kind of form, and it flows through the air like that. It pushes things from the D1 into the D2. So we say the D3 is like a wealth ushering power. It moves things. It moves like wind. It blows. So if I see something that I want, I need to use the D3 to help it to come over here. It's called wealth ushering, right? You want to bring it over. Uh, it's kind of like D3 is kind of like the postal service, um, like those people who deliver the package, right? They move it, they move, they carry the goods and move it to the location. So let's say if I want the money from the client, then I am the D2 and they are the D1 because they have to give their money into my pocket. But they are not doing it. What do? Well, to increase that wealth, right, that money or whatever coming over, I have to use the D3 power. When I increase the D3, they will they will be moved over. And well, of course, if they're like totally not willing to give, there's nothing to pull. But if they already is about to, right, but they just kind of hesitate, then my D3 will move them. It's kind of like a sales, um, keep saying things to you. Like that's basically what they do. When they say things, it's a D3. And they're like, those booths where they're like selling maybe some knives or food or something, and hey, they just stand there and keep talking, and they keep talking until you're persuaded, and maybe you already want to buy, but if he didn't say anything, you're going to just stay there and just watch, right? But no, he comes on and like, wow, keep talking. This is so good. Look at this. Oh, good. Look at this. Chop, 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 chop. Okay, just buy one. Buy one now. Buy one. It's very cheap. Buy one and try. Okay, you want to look at this? Buy one. Like that, and then they will push you to want to push your wealth over. That's the D3 power. D3 make the D1 stuff like they push it over to the D2. So if you want to be the D2 and you want the client stuff, like I want the client's money, right? Then you're pulling in their stuff. You need more D3 power. Team number 2, Delta November Golf.
Team number 2, Delta November Golf. Yeah, Chejuan. Greeting everyone on the net. Chejuan Gijang. Yeah, it's the one I heard that the D1 is it's like the source, and we wanna if we wanna expose it, so it's like a restaurant, like I wanna do advertising search engine so everybody know the restaurant. It's like the light, so I'm outshining my light so people can see the light and they attract, so the customer is become a D2. But if I want to become a D2, I need to go outside and for example, like I give like a mail to mail the invitation, or I can have a business meeting with a bunch of the corporate around the area. So I attracting the light the customers become the light. So I attracting them to come, and so they will come to the restaurant, inviting them, and then if the D3 is the D1 is traveling, and become D3 is the money is come to our account. And if I really wanna attract more, so I need to the D3 power to attracting so people can the money still have more. I mean, the account still have more money, something like that. Back to you, net control. Tinjat number 2, Delta November Golf.
Remember that D1 doesn't move, right? It just sit there like a tree, a tree with apples. D2 move. So I move and go around the tree, and I'm like, I want it, I want it, I want it. And then I'm like pulling that apple toward me, right? So if you say money, right? Um, the customers are already inside your store, and now you're the D2, and they are the D1 giving you the money. Okay, so they have money, and they sit down, they're going to order, they're going to pay, but how much? So the more black you are, the more you can pull out of them. So how do you become more black? Right? The more black is like you have to attract them. So you have to give them more ways and say, like use the D3 power, say it, make them know about it, right? Help them introduce more wind element. The wind element is usually like you're giving them things to listen or to see, which they can feel moved. Like a menu with nice pictures is a good way. Someone going around and saying, "Oh, we're doing this special. Do you want to try this?" And then they're like, "Yeah, I want." Okay, well, you buy this and that, and then you can have the special. So some talking, pushing, it works. Sometimes you can give people like a little bit of thing to move them, like coupon, something like that. And they're like, "Oh, I can spend it next time. Okay, I'll do it," and they'll come back. That's the D3 element. Like win, right? It pushes, ushers. Sometimes you can also utilize the D3 to do bad things. Think about it this way: if I am like attacking this guy, and I want to do something bad to him, I introduce some D3 powers over. I inject the D3 into that person, and it's for a bad reason. So I am pushing him to go into, let's say, a fight, or into an accident, or into breaking up with the girlfriend or something, right? So you can. It's like for them, it will feel like suddenly they have this push at the back, and it makes them want to, just argue, just fight, like that. It's a kind of power that will affect people's thoughts. Uh, Anyway, anyone want to check in? Anyone else want to check in? Please come now. Moving back to the top, tier number 2, Golf Alpha Papa.
Tinjat number 2, Golf Alpha Papa. So this is it's definitely intriguing information. I'm finding myself how can I put it? Like some of these examples, I don't know if triggering is the right word, right? Like like I feel like there's a lot of this in marketing, and I kind of like got a little bit jaded with marketing. So I'm a little concerned about what it might say about me that I have such such, I don't know, interesting judgments when it comes to that wind, right? Like 'cause like, you know, um if I'm out there and I'm running across like people that are trying to give me free stuff to get me interested in a thing, I'm more inclined to get suspicious. And I'm suspicious or maybe off put, like just actually almost has the adverse effect of pushing me away. And hearing you talk about this, it seems like this is actually like a natural thing. This is just like a part of the natural cycles. So, and it could just be my paranoia. I'm overthinking things, but it's like I'm a little concerned now, like what it means that if like I've, so resistant to to uh to that aspect, to these things which seem to be a part of like just nature, the way interactions happen. And if that might be like either bad programming or something else going on. But yeah, I'm also so just to see if I got this right. D1 shines. It's full. It shines. It is still. D2, it moves around. It's hungry. It's empty, and it pulls. Now the pulling itself, that is D3, or um, is it like as the pulling happens, the movement from D1 to D2 is considered D3, or is it like actually both of those concepts, both the sucking as well as the stuff that's getting sucked? Um, Finyat number two, Golf Alpha Papa.
Uh, okay, before I explain, maybe this will be better for you. How about referrals? The word of mouth. When other people say, "Oh, this guy is called Gap and his mustache really good," right? That is a D3, right? That is a D3 because they are ushering other people over to you, right? That's D3. So it, I know what you're talking about. Like you're like walking on the street and people are handing out stuff. That's like you're doing D3, but you're doing it like the stupid way, like so there are ways that you do it and it's kind of stupid and it doesn't work. There are ways that you do it and it works. So it really depends. But that is the same idea, like same concept is all D3, but you can do it in a way that pisses people off and you can do it in a way that actually works, right? So uh but they are both D3. Okay, so yeah, like doing business, you need referral, you need word of mouth, and that will help a lot. So yeah, imagine like disciples who just came in already and they just look at me is not enough. But if you guys say something, oh, they're instantly going to be like, wow, that's cool. I want to learn. Right? Like that's a D3 element. Anyway, going back to the 1, 2, 3. Okay, D1 doesn't move. D2 sucks, but it's like around. It goes around and around in a circle like a swirl, and it just pulls. Right. The D3 is the wind that move and usher that element from the D1 to come over. It's the phase when the D1 element is entering the D2 area. Okay. And if we look at the Dragon Chi, the D3 is like um a wind. It goes one direction and push things that way. Okay. D2 is also wind, but it's like a turbulence or like a, like it goes in circle, like a cyclone. It just swirls around and it draws things in. So the kind of movement and the power of how they do things, like how they move is different. Okay. D1 is like it doesn't move around, but it just shines, right? And D2 is like it makes circles and it drills things toward it. It sucks. And D3 is like wind. It pushes you left, it pushes you right, it pushes you this way, right? It's kind of like the whole line pushing you from the back like that. Okay. Um, Let me pass the mic to tier number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Tenured number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf. Well, Sajwan, from listening to my other seniors and juniors and their feedback, it's giving me a really strong, in-depth understanding of the mindset theory because I'm realizing that depending on your initial reaction or action that you have taken is going to dictate what do you fall in on the first three. So for example, let's say you are hungry and you're walking on the street. Just by that one decision and action or feeling, you're automatically D2 because you're hungry, you're pulling, you're looking, and you walk down the street and you see a fancy restaurant, and depending on their presentation, they have attracted you. You have you are hungry, so depending on their presentation, they're emitting their presentation and how good the food look, and you're absorbing that, and you're going towards it. So depending on your first initial action is going to tell you whether you're D1 or D2. And like like the example you also just gave about the salesman who is trying to oversell his product, and he messes up the sale. He moved from D1 to D2. He had the product, and and the people were looking for the product they were about to buy, but because he oversold it and he spoke too much, he did too much. It kind of made the person who was in the D2 position stick, and they become the D1, and now he's the D2 because he's trying to pull them in now, because initially he was D1. He had the thing that the person was looking for. So depending on where you're at, you need to know your actual first action that you're taking, and that is going to tell you where you're at and how much you need to do to move from which position to get what you want. Well, that is what I've gotten so far. Thing at number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
That one who is selling stuff and talking too much, is not that problem. It's more like you're blowing wind, but the wind is too big. Right? The wind is too strong. If it's like, okay, yeah, if you go outside, okay, and it's like breeze, and it's a sunny day, it's a breeze, feels good, right? Like mild wind makes you feel good. But if you go out and it's like storming wind and then it's like sunny, it's weird. It's blowing your head away, right? It's too much. So when you're trying to be the D3 ushering the D1 to the D2 party, if you do it like too fast, giving too much power or the wrong way, you're gonna push people away instead of like, getting to the point. um Imagine you're like playing golf, Charlie Hotel Golf, right? So you're like trying to do the putting and get the ball into the hole, and you use too much power, then the ball just missed the hole. You have to use enough power or consistent small power, then it will actually deliver it. um just kind of imagine people like the UPS people, right? They come and deliver the box to you. If they hand it over nicely, you're like going to sign it and okay, no problem, right? But hey, did that guy come over super fast and then he just like throw the thing into your backyard and they're like, oh, fuck it, like that. Oh, you're going to complain. You're not going to accept it because he is so crazy. So when the wind is wrong and it's too big, it will have problem. So you got to control how much wind is appropriate, and that's skills. Um, well, let me dig a little bit into D4 then. So D3 is the power is a light green color, and it's like a slice of a fabric kind of form. It moves through the sky like that. The D4 is a dark green, jade green color chi, and the look of the chi is like roots. It's like they're like roots, like tree roots. or like fibers in the vegetable. They look like that, like millions, trillions of strands of hairs. They look like that, but they're in the form of light, and they have the property of gripping onto something that came in, and they will hold on to it, and they will grab it and break it up. So imagine like there's a net, right? A fish net, and there's a sausage, and then you put the fish net over the sausage, and then like super tighten it. What happened? It turns into like a lot of different pieces of meat, right? Instead of like the whole thing is still there. So the D4 has that property of breaking up things. It tangles onto things and break it up. So it's kind of like, okay, D3 is the package from Amazon came into my house. D4 is I hold on to the package and I start to like break it up. Like I remove things, break the tape, and then, take out everything. I'm breaking it up. That's D4. And you're trying, like D4, the goal is to communicate and understand about what actually came in. So when the package is here, you unload it, right, and break up everything, and you try to understand what's going on. That's D4. Teacher number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha.
Ticket number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. So, if I understand correctly, D4 is something that holds on to whatever has come in, and it squeezes it, or it just holds it. It sounds like it just holds it, and then it breaks it up until when, or until it. I guess we communicating our thoughts, or is that? I guess I'm a little confused about that. So we get the package. The package comes into D4. D4 holds on to it and breaks it up, and then it's about communication. Could we elaborate a little bit more about that? Tingette number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha.
Well, you're like communicating with the items, like looking at it and then understanding about it, like that kind of communication, not like talking to it. Okay. So you're trying to like understand what's going on. And you see, if I shove you a piece of information, like nine star theory, it's big, right? It's like a brick. Wow, super huge. You have to like put that inside you, and then the D4 begins is like, okay, I now got a grasp of it, and then I'm going to break it up into smaller pieces to understand it, right? So you break down the element in order to digest it later. So the D4 phase is like how the food enters the throat, and it breaks up the food before it enters the stomach, right? That's basically the D4 power. It entangles onto things, and then is squeezed inward to break it up. That's what it does. So in magic, we can actually use that. For example, like yesterday, I was telling Lei, well, you go soul travel and you chase down the Yi crab, and that thing is like trying to run away from you. You can use the D4 power and send that power over to grab onto the thing like a magic hand, like grab onto it, and then you can break it up, and yeah, you can actually kill the thing with it. So kind of like that. Senior number 2, Kilo Alpha India.
Teammate number 2, Kilo Alpha India. I'm refreshing my memory. I remember at some point you did mention something about D3. I remember you mentioned that because the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the you're talking about D3 and advertising, So I'm getting confused because I think in one of the net when you were mentioning the that time you were you were about to go to court and you were talking about the legal things. You did mention something about having people like talking positive about positive about you to influence the outcome of the case. So it sounded like that time you were talking about D5. So and that is more similar to what you were saying about D3. I don't know where am I getting confused at this point. So I just want you to clarify for me that confusion. Such on teammate number 2, Kilo Alpha India, back to you.
Not D5 for sure. D3 is like when you're saying things, making people like pushing people toward a certain direction. That is a D3 power. Okay. D3 power move things. It's like the wind. Okay. So yeah, let's move on to tier number 2, Golf Echo India.
Tanya number 2, Golf Echo India. I feel like I'm keeping up pretty well so far. The D4 power is really interesting. Um, I feel like that's like my favorite part of the learning process is when I've grabbed a hold of something and I'm starting to break it apart and really grasp it. Even if I haven't fully ingested it yet. It's the taking it apart and exploring it. Um, I like the analogy of the Amazon package. They send a bunch of stuff in one big box, and the D4 is when you've got the box and you break it open. You break the tape on top and you start taking things out and checking it out and looking through all the different little packages. Um, yeah. Um, I think I'm keeping up. Tin number 2, Golf Echo India.
Okay. Now you know D4. Let me give you the D5 then. So D4, is dark green. D5, it's yellow. And D5's property, remember the key point is it covers it up, it envelopes, it traps things inside a sealed space. And it doesn't let anything come in or let anything go out. Okay, so D5 is like your stomach. The food enters, cannot go back out, and it can't go down yet until it's ready. So D5 is like we say the chi is very suffocating, meaning that there's nothing in, nothing out, like there's no air to breathe. And because of that, it settles everything. And it's like the Amazon package. That's like, okay, I received the package, I break it up, and now I'm gonna just put the stuff into the drawers or into somewhere safe, and I'll just put it there. That's D5. Okay. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna lay it there. It's not gonna be touched yet. D5 is like that. And D5 is also good for protection. It's like the wall. It doesn't let anything to come in or go out. So when we do like protection magic, the golden light, it has D5, right? You radiate the light that is yellow, golden, and it stops things from coming in and stops things from going out. So you're not going to bleed. They're not going to be penetrating. Then you're protected, right? So I was giving Lay another example. I was like, yeah, you use the D4 and you capture that Yi crab, right? Like you entangle onto the Yi crab and you pull it over. Then you create the D5 ball to trap that thing in place so it couldn't move out of that zone, right? It's like you put them into a plastic bag, like imagine the Yi crab is like an animal, right? D4 would be like you have a rope or something, and you kind of like just rope the guy and then pull them into a cage. The cage is the D5. Okay, it holds on to things and wait for later. So D5 is like that. Okay, moving on to tier number 2, Delta November Golf. Oh, he say he will he is in the fridge. Okay. Anyway. So D6, let me continue this one. D6 is called Mo Kok. It's very alike with D4. D4 is the new element came in and you are trying to understand this new element, right? But D6 is you already have the element and now you're trying to plan how you can use this on something outside. For example, D4, okay, a computer came into your house. Okay, so now you're looking at a computer, trying to understand how it works. What is this button? What is that cable for? What is this? Where does this go? Right? That's D4. D6 is you already have everything. It was put there for a while, and now you're like, okay, I'm ready to use it. So what can I put you to use today? Like, okay, maybe I'll put you here and I'm going to use it for playing COC, right? So it's kind of like D5 is when the soldiers are kept in the barrack, in the base. They're not moving anywhere. They're staying inside. It's protected, right? And then D6 is like you're assigning the jobs, the tasks to every soldier so that later they can go out and do stuff. Okay, that's D6. And D6 power, it's like light blue color with some white. And they are also in the form of flowing light. And the flowing light is like water. It's very fluid, fluid like light. We call that the Xin Guang immortal light. Okay, going on to tier number 2, Golf Alpha Papa. A.
Tenet number 2, Golf Alpha Papa. So as you were breaking this down, I started thinking about my old job at Goodwill, and it's it like just as like the D phases in the process, right? So like I was uh I was the donations attendant, meaning that I would be receiving stuff from people, right? So the people who were dropping stuff off, like they were full, right? They're trying to get rid of stuff, so they would be like D1. The fact that I go out there to grab stuff, I'd be that D2 pulling their stuff in. Um, their the action of them like the advertisement that we this is what we do, the information that this is what Goodwill does, that's like the D3, right? So then I'm pulling stuff in and I take it in, and now I begin to like grabbing it and start, like, even before sorting it, like putting it in the bin. That's sort of like D4. D5 is where I start deciding what's going to stay, and these things, they stay in these bins before they in the big old bins before they get decided what's worth keeping and what's worth throwing away. I think that is the D5. And then yeah, I I got a little excited when I started thinking about this, but I don't know if that's 100% on track, but I think D6 is where yeah, see, that's where I think maybe D6 would be where they'd start deciding like what from that point, like what to price things at, right? I might have overcomplicated this. Uh, yeah, no, this is all super fascinating, and I think I also got I got not overwhelmed, but the what you described, the color of D6 as and yeah, I mean it's kind of like a big deal that you said yeah, you called it the oh man, yeah, I'm listening, and at the same time, like as with the processing, it's like I think I'm even getting distracted by my own thoughts. So yeah, Tinyat number 2, Golf Alpha Papa.
Just to let you know, it's 100% correct for your example. And the D6 would be like they're deciding how to use those items or sell them or whatever. Like they're deciding how this item will interact with the outside again. And D7 could be the item going out of the company and going outside. So, yeah. Um, yeah, D7 is Paul Guan breaking away, breaking out the army. So basically, D7, the color is red, like fire, like flame. And that's the power that pushes the stuff in D6 to go out. Like, yeah, you guys all have a plan now. Go! You know, that go moment is the D7. So, yeah, um, you are actually getting it quite good, and we just need more net to finish the whole lesson. But it is already 2:04 p.m. We'll continue on net B 73 to all, and we'll see you back online. Tier number 2, uh, Yankee Uniform Echo. Crazy me. Tier number 9, Yankee Uniform Echo is clear.
Tinyat number 2, Golf Alpha Papa, clear.
Tinyat number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf, clear.
Tin Yacht number 2, Golf Echo India, clear.